ready to transform your feedback into fuel? Oh yes, what's up everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of It Takes Grit. My name is Rebecca Louise. If we haven't already connected on social media, go and follow me at Rebecca Louise Fitness and send me a DM saying It Takes Grit and let's chat. All right, so I love this topic because feedback isn't easy, right? We feel like feedback is criticism. And sometimes we take it so personally that it destroys our soul. Now, I'm going to pre-frame this. Sometimes the feedback that you get is not going to be the best for you, right? It might not be the feedback that you feel really aligns. So how do we know how to turn this feedback into fuel? Because nobody likes to be criticized. Nobody likes to be told that what they're doing isn't working or it's not great or, we don't value it. So instead of thinking those negative connotations when it comes to feedback, let's focus on how we can align that to becoming fuel. Now, I remember, one of my mentors would give me feedback quite a bit, right? I was 25 at the time. I really didn't know what I was doing. I thought I knew everything, right? We always think that we know everything. But luckily, at my 25-year-old self, I have to give myself credit back then that I was teachable. But there was always times where I didn't always agree. And so sometimes you're going to butt heads with people. Maybe it's a mentor, maybe it's a coach, maybe it's someone that you're going to, have a slight disagreement with. And that's okay. You can use your feedback to fuel to help you get to where you want to be. And so I just decided when I was 25 and I was getting mentorship, I remember my mentor said this to me, and I'll never forget it. He said, Rebecca, I can think like you and have what you have, or you can think like me and you can have what I have. Now, at the time, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't have a very positive group of friends around me. My nutrition wasn't great. My health wasn't great. And they were very the opposite. And that quote stuck with me so strong because I wanted so badly what they had. They had people coming up to them all the time saying, oh my goodness, you've changed my life. Thank you so much. They had incredible vacations. They had incredible health. And I just knew that if I wanted something different to what I already had, I had to start thinking like them. And so that line, like, Rebecca, if you think like me, I'll have what you have. Or you can think like me and have what I have. I was like, all I have to do is think like you and I can have what you have. I was like, phenomenal. Like, just tell me. So they would give me feedback. Hey, Rebecca, you're doing an awesome job with this, but you need to change this, this, and this. Hey, Rebecca, don't say this word. Remember, I learned those words not to say, but and hate. 2 words that I just don't say. Sometimes I say it in a little bit of marketing. You'll hear me say the word but never ever using the word hate. And at times I would get advice from them and I wouldn't like it. However, I just decided that if I was to grow, I had to think differently. And you don't always have to take everybody's feedback on. Sometimes it's a gut feeling, right? But I do believe that at the beginning, this is really important. I believe at the beginning, when you're learning something new, you don't have a strong enough gut yet to really make those decisions. Because sometimes we use a gut feeling to get ourselves out of something that we don't want to do. We're like, oh, it just didn't feel right. So you got to ask yourself, in the situations that you're in right now with the experience that you have, is this a gut feeling that you should do it or you shouldn't do it because of maybe getting yourself out of something that you know that is uncomfortable, but it's actually going to push you outside of your comfort zone? So what I had to learn is that when I start something brand new, right, if I don't know anything about it, even when I'm, 50% understanding things, I really do just go, you know what? I'm just going to let any feedback that they have become like what I need to do and what I need to change because I don't have enough experience yet in making that decision myself. As you get more experienced in a field, whether that is whatever it is, right? You can start to trust your gut a little bit more when it comes to somebody giving you feedback. But at the beginning, when somebody's giving you feedback on something and you don't know anything about it, I would 100% be taking that feedback. You build the understanding and that knowing. Jamie Kerr-Lima talks about the knowing, right? This knowing inside of you of what is going to be great for you, of what you know. However, a lot of times people use that as an excuse to not do the things that are going to help them get to where they want to be. Or they just don't have enough experience to actually trust the gut. Right? You have to have experience in things to really trust your gut to know if it's right or wrong. Because sometimes people are just trusting their gut and they're saying, oh yeah, that's just what my gut said. But it's actually leading them down to a path that is not going to help them get what they want. So we have to be real with ourselves, right? You got to be real with yourself. Like if I was going to start something brand new, I don't know, learn how to do cooking, for example, which is just not my forte. If someone was going to give me feedback on my food, I would not argue. Now, if someone was going to give me feedback on my workout videos, I would be a little bit more hesitant because I've got tens of thousands of hours experience when it comes to YouTube videos and to workout videos. Now, I'm going to listen. I'm going to take on their feedback. But I can then say if I feel like that is the right decision or not. Okay? But I'm always going to listen to somebody's feedback. If someone's like, hey, you know, with your workout videos, Rebecca, like you talk too much. Great. I've had that feedback. Okay. What happens when I hear that is I go, great. Then I've actually tried to do a couple of workout videos when I don't talk that much. And I knew in my gut that my style is not going to be right for everybody. My style is not, I don't want to be the person who just does a workout video and there's no voice. Because I believe that the power in the workout videos comes from what I'm saying for motivation to change people's trajectories of not just their fitness journey, but their life. So I did try that. And guess what? When I did try, I said, you know what? I'm going to take on the feedback. I'm going to do a couple of videos that I'm not talking so much. People didn't like it. I didn't like it. And they didn't do as well. However, I still took that feedback on. I was like, you know what? Maybe there's some truth in it. And guess what? You can test it just like I did with the YouTube videos, right? I was like, you know what? I'm going to test it. I'm going to see if this piece of feedback has a lot of validity to it. Now, I'm sure there's a few people that maybe preferred those videos, but the majority didn't. But I didn't just completely dismiss it. I was like, you know what? Let me think about that. Let me just try and execute, see what happens. And there I got my result. But when it would come to something like baking or cooking, I'm going to take all the feedback I can. Why? Because I know nothing about cooking. I know nothing about baking. And I want to make sure that all the feedback that I get allows me to turn that into fuel to be better. Really, really important that if you are not utilizing the feedback, if you're not actually putting it in place, it's going to be really hard to transform and to change where you're at. You're at where you are at because of the belief that you have, because of the actions that you're doing. So feedback is great. You just have to decide if you are open. Think about that. Are you open right now to getting feedback, to getting criticism? And listen to this. It is your ego when somebody criticizes you or gives you feedback. That's the only thing that it hurts. And your results too. It hurts your ego and it can hurt your results. Because a lot of times you're going to get feedback from people that are there to help you and give you direction and to share with you, hey, this is the mistake I made. Don't make the mistake here. Follow this. And then you get to decide if that's something that you want to do. So we got to accept feedback, right? We got to accept it, at least onboard it, and then we can execute it. And then after you execute it, then see how it feels, right? We're like, oh, you know what? This person was right. I did get a result from what they mentioned that I should do. They did help me with the feedback, okay? And you need to have constructive criticism for growth. Anytime that you want to grow to the next level, you need to change something, right? You need to change your belief. You need to change an action. Something has to change in order for you to grow, just kind of like when you're trying to grow your muscle, right? You have to break down that muscle. You have to break down the muscle fibers so that you can then grow back stronger. It's the same with your brain. I asked somebody the other day, like, how often are you working out? They said 4 hours a day, 4 hours a week. I was like, awesome. How often are you working out your mind? Not even 4 minutes. Well, how do you expect your mind to change and your brain to change and your brain to grow and your mindset to develop if you're not building it, if you're not working it? I mean, think about that. I mean, think how crazy that sounds, right? You're like, yeah, I work out my abs and my arms and my glutes and I want to get bigger biceps, so I do arm workouts. Well, if you want to get bigger growth changes, you have to build your mindset. You have to grow your mindset. You have to work out your mind. It's why it's called working on yourself. You're working on your brain. So when you're getting that constructive criticism, instead of being defensive and argumentative and insulted, how can you utilize it to fuel you to become better? Because that's all it is. Anytime I give any of my team members any feedback, it's always to help them get what they want. It's never to steer them in a direction that they don't. But sometimes ego gets the better of you. You don't like what someone says to you because you don't like being criticized. You don't like being told no. You don't like thinking that you've got it wrong. Guys, it is not about getting it wrong. It's just about how can you improve on that. It's the same when I've done a YouTube video and it's edited. We give the editor improvements. We think he's done a great job, but here's our feedback. We would like this font to be changed. We'd like this color to be changed. We'd like the timer to look like this. Is that really a big deal? Guys, some of you are getting your knickers in a twist because people are giving you a little bit of criticism and feedback that's going to help you grow. And instead of just going, you know what? That's thank you. Thank you for that. You're getting defensive. You're getting argumentative. You're thinking you're not good enough. But that's not the case. The case when you get feedback and constructive criticism, it's always from someone that cares about you. Because trust me, if I didn't care about you, I wouldn't bother giving any feedback. I wouldn't bother giving any constructive criticism. I wouldn't bother with any of that. But what I am focused on is how can I utilize the feedback and constructive criticism that people give me so that I can grow and be better. So that's what's really important, okay? So and who are you listening to, right? This is one thing we got to say. Because a lot of times people are listening to feedback and constructive criticism that's not constructive from those people who do not have what they have. Another thing that my mentor said was, do not take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with. If you're getting feedback from people that do not have the results that you are looking for, that makes no sense. That's not feedback. That's just opinion. And opinions do not pay your bills. So if you're getting people, saying things to you that are negative, that are not going to help you grow in that area. For example, you want to lose 10 pounds. And you've got a friend that's like, oh, don't worry, just, eat this burger with me. Like, it doesn't matter. That's somebody giving you feedback. There's someone giving you criticism. But ask yourself, is that the criticism and feedback that I'm looking for? Criticism and feedback wants to come from a mentor or a coach or somebody that you look up to and you admire. Not somebody who's giving you feedback or criticism that is not where you want to be. Why? Because you will dip down to that person's level. You will start to form your own mindset and your beliefs around what they think. And before you know it, you've slipped down through a path that you didn't even know how you got there. Why? Because you listened to somebody else's feedback that was not having your best interest at heart. You listened to somebody who wanted to pull you down with them. You listened to somebody who did not want you to get to that next level, did not want you to have a new level of belief, did not like where you were headed because they felt inferior and insecure. So we have to be really careful, like, who are you getting feedback from? Get the right feedback. Get it from people that have been in the place that you want to go. That's my biggest advice. Anytime that I'm listening, if someone gives me feedback, I'm like, okay, who is this person? Who is this person, right? Do I want their life? Do I admire them? No, if not, I'm not going to listen to their feedback, right? Everybody has a little bit of, of an opinion that can be validated. So you can always listen to it. And then you can ask yourself, well, is that true? No. Okay, move on. I'm going to listen to the people who I actually want to aspire to be like and growing in the same direction as me. So how can you get better from feedback? Oh my gosh, we could sit here all day long. It's the only way that you do get better. Embrace it. Let that ego go. Let that chip off the shoulder go and allow somebody to come in and be there for you, to mentor and to guide you in the right direction. You just have to make a decision today if you want to be the person that is going to let go, surrender, and allow feedback and constructive criticism to come into your life to help you become better. I can't emphasize enough when I'm working with my ambassadors, those people who do the best at building their business and their side hustle and their extra income, the people that do the best are those that I go, hey, this was awesome, just change this. And they're like, thank you so much for the feedback. The people where I send messages to and I don't even get a reply for 2 days, I've sent a voicemail or a voice note, or I've sent a message about, hey, this is awesome, and then I would try this, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes, believe it or not, I don't even get a thank you. Isn't that crazy? Why? I don't know. Well, I do know, right? It's because they've got their own thing going on in their head about why what I've just given them won't work. But until you get out of the mindset of, oh, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work, you can't be helped. You, first of all, have to let go of this idea of what you think it should be. Because if you're not getting results, the way that you're doing things aren't working. You need the constructive criticism. You need the feedback to be able to help you get to where you want to go. So if you're listening to this right now and you're like, you know what? I have a mentor and I have a coach and I've not said thank you in a while after they've given me so much help because I have perceived it as the things I'm doing wrong, or I've just perceived it as criticism. No, there's a difference between criticism and constructive criticism to help you grow. I know that out there, people are there to help you give constructive criticism to help you grow, not to criticize you to make you feel bad. There, I got really angry at that one, right? Feel bad, right? They're not there to help you feel bad. They're there to help you grow and to morph and to give you the tools that you need to be successful. So if you're serious about transforming the feedback into fuel to help you get the results that you're looking for, I can't emphasize enough why today needs to be the day where you go, you know what, I'm going to surrender. I'm going to invite feedback in. I'm going to invite constructive criticism in so that I can become the best version of myself. So I hope this episode helped you today. Realize that when people are giving you feedback and they're giving you constructive criticism, it's not because you're bad. It's not because you can't do it. It's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you don't have the skills. It's because they see so much potential in you. They want you, they know that if they just made a few tweaks that could help you here and there, you could be able to skyrocket. But you have to decide if you're going to be the person that says, you know what? I'm just going to let that tension go. I'm going to let the ego go. And I'm going to invite great constructive criticism and feedback into my life to help me get to where I want to be. Great job for joining everybody today. Remember, if you want to hear more about how to become an ambassador, I always put it in the description below. If you want to lock arms with me and change the world, earn some extra income, make a difference, travel with me. We do fit camps all over the world. It's so exciting what we've got going on. I've got a quick 20-minute video that's going to share more about how you can become an ambassador and work one-on-one with me. Great job today. I'm excited to see how you morph into bringing more constructive criticism and feedback into your life to help you get exactly where you want to be.